Good morning, guys. Today, I wanted to go over some of the G2 versus GenG games. For this video, it will be game 1. And really what you just need to know is, why did G2 just win so easily? How did they do so well, right? Because going into this series, I'll just say that, of course, GenG are heavy favorites, especially with the way BB's playing. BB's awful. Like, honestly, right now, he's literally losing to everyone. So there's not a lot of hope there. Caps, he's looking better. And so you're praying that Caps will turn it up and show up because that's what they need. Their ball lane, it heavily depends. But the really big thing to understand is that for GenG, like, Ruler will occasionally make some dumb plays, and Duro can be kind of an inter. So you're really praying on GenG's duo not performing, because you can almost certainly count that their top side will. So if we look at the draft, and I'm going to skip ahead a little bit just so you can see it. They draft Azir 1 pick, which is fine. They do Varus, which is like, okay, Varus, he has range, he can deal with Azir a bit, makes Azir a little bit less useful per se. They take a Xin Zhao, they have a Pantheon band. Honestly, like, I thought they would just play Vi, like, into the Varus Maokai. They could also have played something like the Fury, I don't know, but also they could have just played their Skarner, and Skarner would have been pretty solid if you think about it, because Skarner, like, it just matches what Maokai is. It's a tank. It has some pull. It's not bad. They take a Renekton, which is a very specific pick towards, like, fighting out BB. Like, I assume that's why they took it. And then they took Yone. So Yone can beat Azir. Azir can beat Yone. It's not like it's just like a heavily favorited matchup. And they do have a better mid-jungle to play in the beginning of the game, which is something they have to take advantage of. And Renekton does and can beat Yone inside if he's ahead enough. And so they take a Jax. And, like, I'm just going to say right now, like, yes, Jax, again, it's a very skill-based matchup between Jax and Renekton. But the off chance that BB's actually be able to execute it well enough, because it's easier for the Renekton to play it out compared to the Jax to play it out. And do you think he's going to do it? Probably not. And they finish with a Lucian Braum, which, if you think about the draft, it's like, they really did not need to go this route. Like, they easily could have just gone a Rel, which would have felt pretty good. And then for AD, of course, they banned Jhin, which is very annoying. They could have taken maybe, like, an MF or something like that. That would have been, like, a very, like, capable bot lane, but they went Lucian Braum, which is very, like, they have to basically stack drags. Like, they need to stack drags. They have, like, 0 pull outside of this guy, Azir. So they have to heavily depend on leaning on Azir plus flanks. Like, that's kind of like how they have to play this, which is not easy. But if you get drags, it's not bad.
I do think always feels a little bad.
And these guys finish it off with a Recon, which is pretty standard. Okay, so that's the draft. And yes, if you look at G2's draft, it's definitely favored in terms of, how do you want to say it? It's favored in terms of just playmaking capabilities and how you can kind of just grow into the game. Because, like, Jax can eventually beat Renekton. Like I said, it's not easy in the beginning, but, like, he can beat Renekton later on. Yone, same case, like, eventually, like, he will be pretty annoying, obnoxious. Recon, a lot of playmaking, like, it's just a very well-rounded comp. Theirs, it's very specific in how they have to play. And if they don't play it that way, they'll lose. So if we go into this game, the first thing you need to note is that this guy's pathing for the Renekton, which, to be honest, he really doesn't need to do, but he does it because he's, like, assuring that his bot lanes can be fine. His bot lane was not fine. His bot lane started actually just instantly losing, and that's why they did the swap. For top lane, BB, I'm just gonna say right now, if you play this matchup, it's okay if Jax gets the push, but he can't trade his HP to do the push, because when he does, this guy can hold the wave and kind of screws you big time. So BB kind of just, he doesn't know the matchup, I guess, And yeah, he got punished pretty hard.
Could be a bit tough, but you should still be safe. You know, you just calm, really decide what happens. See if you can get support attention.
So yeah, look at top lane. Ouch.
Looking too bad. This is obviously the guy who was kind of the core of G2. Scraping through.
Very bad.
If you're just joining us, cast for a long time. It wasn't clear. Never stayed permanent the first few games. Definitely feels like a step up performance as far as top lane, quiet. I'm trying to constant earlier. Does help mitigate a bit.
So obviously they, like I said, they want to make plays on mid. I would never hit the vision plant like the way he did, because personally I just want to be able to like keep myself undercover. Of course, if he's on bot grab, like yeah, Xin Zhao's probably on top grab, right? I don't know if there's ever a chance for him to.
That's generally how it goes. Chovy obviously.
Honestly, low key, he might be able to even get his flash here if he just W flashes over, or even just hits him with a W here and then E's over. It's possible to get his flash, and that's like the big thing that I want to focus on in the early game is just how do these two like expand on the game. Because again, Azir is the guy who has all the pull, right? Like he has the shuffle. Like this is like your man. So if your Azir's in a good position, cool. If your Renekton is in a good position, then you need to go through side and use his like flanking power and moves to like help the game too.
Known for his lane face.
So no looks there. Unfortunate. There was actually opportunity. Renekton starts basing. Azir TP, no issues. You can see the Lucian base, and then this is where they're gonna swap. So okay, we're going into a swap. Now this is like, in some ways you could say it's beneficial to BB in that like, oh okay, like well BB was just losing to Renekton, so maybe like he can get like make it up from here, right? No. So the Rakan spends time around mid, and the Renekton's his solo bot, and he's farming perfectly fine. BB, the wave is actually pushing out because of what happened, and so he's kind of like screwed, like CS wise, like he's getting like heavily screwed. So then he also TP's bot, but Renekton has TP. So now Renekton just has like an advantage, plus he hits 6 over BB with the wave growing, so now BB has to drop even more. The swap was not very kind to BB. Like obviously the error starts from how he played in the beginning, his wave state, and that's like why he was put in this position in a way. But this also kind of further hurt him. So now we enter, and by the way, I didn't even mention this here because I was focused on talking about BB, but for this part here, if they show it, so again, this is another opportunity for them to make a play on mid. Their support is basically there. The Rakan could be there as well. Technically, the Maokai could be there. They don't have vision on the Maokai. But you want the 3v3. Like, it's a Braum. Like, Braum with, like, these heavy auto-attackers is super good. So when he gets into this position... Watch.
Some of the other teams here at the tournament.
Okay, so they're in position. The Braum could lean just a little bit. And so, like, the one thing you're trying to fish for is, can you get his flash? Is it possible to get his flash? When did he use E? He just used E now, at 550. I think the ECD is at least, like, 15 seconds. So you kind of just need to send it. You know what I mean? Like, you just need to send it. Like, when he walks for this one here, he needs to go. But the problem is he doesn't have Q and he doesn't have W. You know? Like... when his jungle's looking, he shouldn't Q like this. He should save it. And so that's the error that happens first in this game, is Chovy now does not have a way to pull on Yone. Even though Yone has no E, and the conditions are literally perfect for them to start something up. Because again, like I said, if he loses his flash, that's really good. If he dies, obviously better, but like if he loses his flash, then we can make a repeat play and start building up the game. Chovy screws it up. Then Chovy gets like traded a little bit. The wave is still in a bad spot. Okay. Yeah, BB's hurting, but we're not really doing much. They also didn't get the first drag because their bot lane lost and they swapped, right? So great. That's not really helpful because like again, if your comp doesn't have a lot of pull, you need something to draw the enemy's attention, which is dragons. So Xin Zhao comes this way. By the way, if you look at like the vision, Yone never had an opportunity to ward on the left side. Here's another timer that they could go for. Everyone's showing. Yon is literally in a bad spot with the wave. Like, look where the wave is. Look where Yon is. They have vision on both sides. He straight shoots it to Grubs. This is now Canyon's issue. He needs to be playing here and going for another play. He doesn't. So since he doesn't, now look, Maokai takes over the area, Yon takes over the area. Yeah, it's a little bit of a dance. Yeah, the Yon's wave was fucked the entire time, and they do get the Grubs, and that's beneficial to Canyon, but it's not beneficial to their game. Like, the Grubs still doesn't really do anything. So that's two opportunities where they missed to have a impact on mid. BB is getting destroyed. So if we're having no impact on mid, what do we do next? We use our Renekton's advantage. Okay, so my Renekton's gonna have perma push over this guy. He's gonna be able to play to even possibly kill him if it looks good. We just used a 0R that got literally nothing. So that's bad. And that's before Dragon, by the way. So we're down Yonar. Or sorry, down a 0R. And that's why, like, G2 moves in. Even though Caps is half HP, they're like, okay, we're 4-stack. Azir's doing another wave. At this point, why are they contesting the drag? Like, it's a little late. I mean, the only way this could possibly be good is if Renekton TPs. Which he could do. And it would be good. Like, he could actually sack top, and he could TP. This is the only way I see them doing this. Unless Azir, after seeing Yon move, moves as well. Again, they're going to be down an ulti, but, like, that's what they could do. He doesn't. He stays mid. So you have Renekton up here. Yon is staying here. Or it's not Yon, Azir, and they're 4. So it's 4v3 right now. You go through bot lane, which is just obviously a bit hard. Like, they don't have any vision, like, set or anything like that. The ward expires, so there's no TP, good TP ward for Renekton.
Base now, GenG, I think looking for the contest. Wave in mid is crashing, Chovy's on his way.
They're just getting poked. He can't go on Recon, and so they overextend trying to go on Recon. They get rooted. Ruler's hiding behind. He's hiding behind the Braum. And he does a flash.
Can he find a way into the pit? Labrov.
This guy goes in. Ruler E's poorly. By the way, if Ruler just E's this way, it's like fine. And he can actually start spamming his R into the opponent, and it's like, okay. You know? Like, Ruler could be playing this better. 3-man Yonar into Q3, and you still burn your Renekton TP. And so it's like, just looking at that fight, was it possible for GenG to play that out? Yes. It was. I mean, is it like the most favorable thing to do? No. But it is possible to play it out. But Ruler played it bad. Like, Canyon, it's like, it's kind of a little too much. I mean, like, they kind of need to draw the enemy in. Like, when you look at this, like, how this starts, like, you don't want to go in here. You just want to tag him, slowly walk up. When the Mauer comes, then everyone runs away. They run at you. Azir takes over. TP looks way better. That's how they have to play, with flanks and patience. They didn't. So losing this fight is really bad. Losing the dragon, really bad. So now there's a bit of an advantage going on for G2. That's in part to their comp, right? But also a long part that GenG is just not really, like, playing their champions that well together. So now BB's starting to get some pressure. You know, it's still not the best. You know, this will definitely flip over when Renekton gets his first item, because BB did tabbies to, like, do well in the lane. And look at Caps. I mean, Caps is literally, like, oof. Caps is doing his best to soak, like, to soak plays, and he's not losing his flash. So now we can also say that in some of these moments, Caps is just playing well. Like, him surviving these plays, like, again, GenG got nothing on mid. Oh, upside, we crashed top. So now the question becomes, why are we not using our Renekton? Like, what is Canyon doing in these games, in this game, to like kind of help with the situation? Because when Canyon like comes out of base, he's taking the Krugs, okay? Took Krugs. His top side's gonna come up. This play's happening and he's mirroring it. Sure, okay. The bot crab's gonna come up. There's nothing to really do topside, besides waiting for his camps. So this whole time he could have planted himself bot, by the way, and made a play on bot. If he really wanted to. Like, literally, he's losing nothing by just, like, sitting top. Like, nothing's happening. Now he's back top. He bought Mercs. Starts doing his camps. Again, Renekton has control, has priority, has TP coming up. And if I'm looking at what they're doing, let's say we want to do Herald on spawn. Why are we going through mid as Zen? Why are you not going through top with your Azir, who's like doing well? I don't know. So Yone is gonna cheat this wave, which sucks. We're gonna get the Herald, but it's like Yone cheated the wave. We took Herald and we did not create a fight. Like, I want to create fights. Like, that's all I'm asking for. I want to create fights as GenG. So the drag's coming up now. But keep in mind, you didn't make a fight earlier. You didn't like create like a disadvantage in like tempo for the enemy team. So now you're gonna be late to drag. Okay, so be it. I guess we're late to drag. Renekton bases the buy tabbies and then TPs to the team. Why? I think if he wants to base for tabbies, that's fine. But by TPing here and being a 5-stack, this is the worst situation for them. This is awful. Because what do they have to worry about? You have 0 pull outside of Azir, and you're just facing each other in front. So the Varus is just going to poke you with arrows. The Maokai's going to hit you with his little saplings. And that's it. You're going to do nothing. And this is like where the game really does truly break open. Because you're going to notice that Keen goes into zone. But look at the separation right now. Azir's sitting here, so he can actually help. But his entire dual lane can't reach this. If they move this way, they're going to get caught by the Maokai R. And that's really bad. So this is just like, this is why it's awful. Because what should be happening is they pull the drag over here. They're going to throw their shit at you. And Renekton's going to be over here. So when they're doing this, what's going to happen? You're going to back up. So you're probably going to back up to like here or something. And then they're going to try to take over this. But okay, but if they can't sit here, because if they sit here, then Renekton's here. And if they go on Renekton, then these guys get to move up. So it becomes a battle of space, but you have to play it well. Like, you have to give the proper respect. And they just didn't do that. Like, they're just kind of just throwing their bodies and just doing whatever the hell they want. So this turns out awful. King goes in, dies, strips this guy off, and now that we're at 3 drags already, it's over. Like, the game's actually just over at this point. I'm gonna let it, like, just play out. I'll even knock this up to 4 speed. Like, they finally make a play, by the way, but it's 17 minutes in, the damage is already done. Like, the damage is already done. Like, it's Black Cleaver versus Triforce. Like, the Jax is fine. Despite being down, the Jax is fine. And, like, Keen's gonna do something that, you know, he's fighting hard, and they're heralding. Oh, by the way, I'm just gonna say, like, they're heralding mid. But again, nobody's doing anything for the Renekton. Even though the Jax is like always in a semi-disadvantaged state, they don't do anything for him. And so he almost gets him, but doesn't result in anything. Okay, we took mid turret, but we have 0 pull, so it literally does nothing. Like, taking the mid turret this is good if you have champions like Maokai, Sejuani, Wukong. Maybe you have like good poke champs, so like if they do get low, you can kind of chase it out a little bit, but they have none of that. So it really does nothing. And then, yeah, this is the nail in the coffin. They pull Otacon out of desperation. Again, 5-stack, can't do shit. They have all the resistances stripped, and they die. And that's pretty much how the game ends. I mean, I don't really need to show much more because it's just smooth sailing for G2. And so, yeah, the big issues that we had in this game is just that GenG were just confused. They didn't know what they were doing. Like, they had no idea what they're doing, and their comp can't mess up. It's very much a, you can't mess up with this kind of comp. And they messed it up. They didn't use the Renekton, they didn't make mid plays, and the end result is G2, who do have a lot of playmakers, kind of just keep chipping at them. And they were never tested. G2 were literally never tested in like any moment in this game. And so we could do a lot of faults on Chovy and Canyon. Like, if we can say that the comp is not as good as it could be, which is true. Their comp is not as good, GenG's. But these two players had to really do a lot more. And also, to be honest, I can even put Keen as an asterisk because like he himself did not know what he needed to do at times as well. And so these three players just kind of, like, if you look at the drafts, it's like, it's a Jax, Maokai, Yone, it's a Nekton, and Zir. Obviously, it's skewed towards the top side. And you didn't perform. So congrats to G2. I mean, a really great way to just pull out a win. And just have a good draft and just kind of play it out as is. And again, for Caps, like, this was the guy. Like, bravo. Like, this was the guy. He did. I talked about in my pre-assessment and post-assessment of play-ins that Caps was not playing the best going into it. And now he's kind of starting to find form. And this definitely shows, like, oh shit, yeah, like, he's kind of there. And that's what G2 needs. So, that was the first game.